What's going on, guys? Right behind me, teacher in the house, and I'm here with the GPL week number 2 Pickems, and I'm of course once again here with the inferior analyst. Nah, I'm just kidding, but I'm here of course with Trancel. How you doing, man?
We did so terrible, but we ended up tying anyway.
I know, but the funny thing is we ended up tying with different scorelines. How did that happen? Yeah, but no, either way, of course, if you haven't seen a Pick'em video before, where have you been? Watch the last one, it was definitely entertaining. We do this every week, so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, if you don't know how it works, the two teams on each matchup, either side of me on the screen, we break down both sides and we pick a winner and a score. This season we're doing with a score because we get 2 points for a correct score result, 1 point for a correct person win, and of course, Jack Diddley squat if we get it completely wrong. Which you guys did a fantastic job of proving us all wrong last time because there were a lot of matches that we got completely wrong, which was pretty funny. So, let's talk about the first one then. It's expert cool coach of the Flaming Skull who took a very surprising win, I think it's fair to say, against Denistria week 1 versus Nitro, who took a rather unfortunate loss to Professor week 1. How'd you see this one turning out, Trancel?
I think Nitro has so many problems with Halucha. Like, it just breaks the, I don't know, it's like a balanced semi-store. Not really semi-store. But yeah, I don't see what he does against Halucha that especially gets a sub up against Corsola, and then
One perhaps way around it is there is currently no fire type on Cool's team, so Center Scorch is not pressured to run Flash Fire. It could actually run Flame Body instead. But again, that's not a huge chance. Yeah. Obviously, still heavy duty boots is required. Rocks and hazards in general is a huge problem for Nitro's team. There is still no hazard removal here, which is a big concern. And there is a Pincurchin sitting on Cool's team that gets both spikes and toxic spikes. So that is something that worth noting.
Stealth rocks.
And Marwell gets rocks. So, if those get set up, there's two bug types sitting on Nitro's team. Araquanid and Center Scorch really don't appreciate rocks. Spikes and T-Spikes, like, yes, Pharaoh's immune to the T-Spikes, but there isn't actually a grounded poison type on that team. So, Toxic Spikes will wear this team down very easily. That is something else to bear in mind. Halucha is a problem, but Center Scorch is pretty much the best answer. Raichu could potentially outspeed it pre-unburden boost, but it's extremely hard to get that up, as the electric terrain that Raichu would love to have is actually also beneficial to Halucha.
With the flame body thing is like Halucha's just gonna one-shot it with acrobatics or whatever flying move he's using.
Yeah, that's true. Kinda awkward. I feel like it depends on the strategy Cool opts for. I think he probably will have a little bit of help prepping for this one because his team is awkward to play around, to say the least. I think if Halucha is allowed to do what it wants, then I can see Cool realistically winning this. I do think that he has the worst Gmax. I think Center Scorch is actually surprisingly underrated. But
I think it's very good.
Yeah, it has a solid enough matchup. The only sad thing is, like, Cool has issues with fairy types a lot of the time, and Nitro's fairy is Aromatisse, which is not necessarily the strongest. Mimikyu could also be an interesting dilemma for Nitro, however there is Galarian Corsola there, which doesn't really want to take a knockoff, but nonetheless, like, Will-O-Wisp shenanigans with Hex is definitely a thing. There is actually no normal type on Cool's team. So, Willow Hex is definitely a thing. There's a lot of physical presence on Cool's team. The only kind of real special presence comes from Rotom Fan, which I don't see coming. And Gmax Pikachu. Pikachu obviously probably will come because it's the Gmax. But yeah, there's a lot of physical presence on the team, so I can definitely see like a Willow Hex Strength Sap type set from Galarian Corsola coming. We do see it a lot. In OU, it's been annoying. My ladder games, it kind of causes me issues. But yeah, I feel like there's opportunities for Nitro. If Raichu can get in and Halucha's not allowed to, then that works. Things like Corsola can be useful. Malamar could potentially come. Does have to watch out for Mimikyu though. But yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Hazard Stack is just too good in draft, and I'm sure Cool will probably see that. As much as I love
against Nitro's team,
as much as I love Nitro and as much as I hope he wins, my instinct is gonna back Cool to take another dub here, which is a reverse from my 0-8 prediction, but I feel like this draft is actually not that terrible against Nitro's team. I'd say I'll give Cool a 2-0.
I'm actually very confident in Cool for this one. I just see so many things that just outweigh Nitro's draft. I'm going 4-0 Cool.
Alright. In before Cool loses now, just to prove us wrong. Alright then, battle number 2 then is going to be Cap Guy, who took a bit of an awkward loss to RNGesus last week, versus Solo, who absolutely thumped Exo with almost seemingly minimal effort. How'd you see this one turning out?
Oh boy, so we got Dracovic and friends, or maybe call it Dracovic and Pangora, because Pangora is definitely showing its worth.
Absolutely.
Well, I think Solo's got a good answer, I'm pretty sure, for the G-Max in Rotom Heat, unless he gets some coverage move that I'm not thinking of.
Did it ever get a rock move? I can't remember.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna check Charizard. I wonder if it got like Rock Slide. Probably not.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But,
Gen 8.
Either way, Rotom wouldn't take damage from the...
It gets Ancient Power. It does get Rock Slide as well. So, that's something to bear in mind. But Scarf Rotom Heat does outspeed Charizard. So I don't know how much it would do damage-wise. But I can definitely see like Discharge Power coming. That could definitely be an issue. Something else that's kind of funny is Solo has his own Body Press Mon in Double. Double for me, even though it's kind of weak to Como. I actually think Double actually has a decent chance of coming, and it would be kind of comical to see like Solo beat the Body Press Mechanics gimmick team with Body Press. I feel like that would kind of be a funny little story to have.
Corviknight gets it as well.
Corviknight does get it, yeah, and it gets Iron Defense as well. So, gets it. I feel like Corviknight will need the Tailwind though. Webs could definitely be a thing. Rotom Wash is a defogger, Zard is a defogger, but you're taking away a coverage move for that. But other than that, like, Cap Guy's team is not that great for Webs, honestly. Like, Como doesn't appreciate it, especially if it goes for the Clangorous Soul. I actually think Solo's matchup is brutal. It's worth noting that both of these teams did make a free agency change. Gothreader's gone from Cap Guy's team for a Scavalier. Gives him another bulky steel type, but is quite weak to fire though. So that's something to bear in mind. And of course Solo brought in Lunatone for Haunter. Lunatone's actually another Trick Room setter, so there's actually 3 Trick Room setters on Solo's team right now.
Gives him Stealth Rocks now, so...
And he's finally got them rocks back. We don't have to moan about it. Where's your rocks? Solo, where's your entry houses? Yeah, we don't have to do that anymore. So that's nice. I don't think Lunatone really comes to this match, though. It does kind of get blown back by Blastoise, Venus, or Rotom Wash. So
yeah.
I don't see it coming at all. But it's kind of an interesting proposition. I feel like just the big threat of the top 3 and Pangoro in Solo's team is just really difficult for Cap Guy to deal with.
Gardevoir just has coverage for everything.
Gardevoir got a lot, actually.
BT is... it's 80, so...
But it typically can be Scarfed, or it can be Specs. Gardevoir's got good special bulk as well, so... that's something to bear in mind. I feel like Solo is the stronger matchup. Not just because of Dracovic, but I feel like there's not really that many ways that Cap Guy can really deny setting up. Like Corviknight Tailwind just seems fairly easy. I don't see too many taunt users. I think Como gets it. I don't see any other taunt users immediately coming to mind. There might be, and I've just forgotten, but I feel like there's not really a way to deny Dracovic sweeping.
I think Pikamuku gets it. Pickems, he's not too bad outside of the Rotom Heat. Unaware for the... That's decent for Dracovic. Like, then he couldn't pass into it. Like, yeah, he would just ignore it. And can like counter back and yeah.
Could be
surprisingly not too
shenanigans.
bad.
Yeah, definitely could be shenanigans. I do expect to see the Pikamuka this game. I still feel like I back Solo though. I think Solo's team, like Solo's brute force, is kind of hard to deal with, as Exo found out the hard way. I think I'm gonna give Solo a 3-0 here. I think it's gonna be a bit closer than people might think, but who knows? I could be wrong. I predicted Solo to 5-0 last time, so I seem to have the gods team on Solo. So Solo, get me a 3-0, please. Give me more points. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to need it, because Dracovic obviously has Psychic Fangs for Como or Ice Fang, what you want to run. Yeah. I think that could definitely be interesting for the matchup. I want to go 3-0 as well with Solo.
Oh, okey doke. Okay, so now he's going to prove us both wrong. He's going to go 2-0 just to spite us now. He's going to sack him on for no reason. Knowing Solo, he probably would.
Almost sacked Glacier on.
I know, my heart nearly sank. I was like, don't you dare, you bitch! And then he took it. I was like, no! And then it lived. I was like, woo! Oh, it was so funny. Oh, I'm glad I wasn't streaming when that happened. Alright, battle number 3. Moving swiftly on. Alright, so we got two different stories here. Crimpix, coach of the Nightmare Shadows, of course, took a bit of a hard loss to Nico last week, versus Tyler, who took a very solid 1-0 win against me. It's worth pointing out, of course, that Tyler dropped his Dottler for Sneasel. Nice little pickup there. How'd you see this one turning up?
Drillodon's matchup is very good. Got a lot of coverage. I think it's like Solar Beam for Quagsire, and Max Grass or whatever it's called.
Max Overgrowth, yeah.
Yeah, Max Overgrowth, yeah. Might be just a case of Tyler just throws an Appleton to just tank it after Crimpix knocks something out. Seems to be one of the more common strats to just throw it in. See how that progresses throughout the league to stop the G-Max.
Yeah, I like the double prankster actually for Crimpix there, slowing a lot of this team down. I don't know if Meowstic got Will-O-Wisp. I know it gets screens. I know Lipod gets T-Wave.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that would be interesting if it did. Gastro looks kind of nice. The only grass type on Tyler's team is, in fact, that Appleton, so that's interesting to know. Rotomo beats Quagsire nearly every time. It's kind of interesting because both of these teams have really decent bulky Pokemon, and it's just a question of whose offense is stronger.
Might see a lot of just wish passing Sylveon and Clef. That's
could be, yeah, that absolutely could be.
Goff could punish that, depending on the Clef set.
Yeah, Clef might have to run like Shed Shell or something, which would mean he'd sack the
Teleport
ball.
actually this generation, I just remembered.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing in seeing.
Wonder if Crimpix knows that. Someone needs to tell him quick. But yeah, I feel like it's an interesting matchup. It's quite a toss-up. Obviously, Tyler's semi all-in on Trick Room, but I don't think Crimpix really minds that too much. Like, Gastro's very slow, Clef can be pretty slow. Duraludon, I think, is relatively quick. Dharma's obviously decent speed. Oh, I'm not sure. Frostlass never got Freeze Dry, which kind of sucked for me, but Frostlass could be a nice little suicide lead. I think Chandelure gets Flash Fire, right? So that can be an annoyance for Dharm.
Yep.
There's like some annoyances on both sides for both teams. So it comes down to who's going to execute on the day. Based on how well Tyler played against me, honestly, I'm going to back Tyler to win this one. I think I'll give Tyler I think it's going to be a narrow game. I think both teams is either going to be a stomp either way, or it's going to be like ridiculously close, like Tyler's last match was. I'll give Tyler a 2-0.
Sneasel doesn't even half bad here. Just knock off pressure. I'm gonna go 3-0 Tyler.
Okay. I feel bad, Crimpix. I do want you to get your first win, dude. I really do. But yeah. Alright. Coming in at the fourth one then is going to be Professor, who took a very convincing win in week 1, versus Sylvie, who took a very convincing loss. How do you see this one turning up?
Well, Sylvie has a fair amount of answers to get rid of Lapras screens. Use Psychic Fang, Defogs. Still my... Oh no, that doesn't remove it. What am I saying? Sorry.
It doesn't remove it, but it kind of ignores it with Screen Cleaner.
Oh yeah, true. I think it gets rid of it actually.
It might do. I'm not too familiar with the Screen Cleaner ability. I haven't seen it used. It might remove it, but that would be it. That will be interesting because that will kind of cuck Professor's like screen strat. But I can imagine Professor would know that though. So like for me, like I've seen Professor prep. I've seen like the extensive detail he goes to. I would imagine he would probably notice that. So he may not even bring screens on Lapras except for Resonance, which he may not need. Looking at it, he may not necessarily need it. I think Sylvie's got kind of an interesting situation where there's quite a few pivoting options there. Mew gets U-turn, Galv of course getting Volt Switch. I'm interested to see if Lucario comes and what set he brings. Like, where does he opt to draw the line there? It's worth noting, of course, Professor did actually drop the Sneasel, which Tyler now has, and replaced it with Manectric. Manectric, a fast electric-type Pokemon. Actually kind of nice against the Togekiss. I didn't see too many great Togekiss answers except Copper Azure. And Rhyperior, of course, can be solid. But it is slow, though. Weakness Policy Rhyperior could be an interesting one. Be interested to see what kind of moveset it gets. It can get things like Mega Horn, which hits the Mew. Does get things like Poison Jab for the Flapple and things like that.
Yeah.
See,
the interesting thing is Ditto, with the way Sylvie plays, Ditto could become a huge problem. Is Sylvie likes to just set up and like Ditto just loves that kind of thing. So
yeah, Sylvie has this problem. We mentioned it in the power rankings as well, that he has this problem of if he sets up a Pokemon, he either lets it die or it kills people. So, like, Ditto is very abusable in that kind of thing, but that is a playstyle thing, not necessarily a team thing. I would like to think that Sylvie actually doesn't have a bad matchup here. I do think if Flapple gets a Dragon Dance up with that Hustle and Gigantamaxes, that could definitely put some holes in teams. It does get Earthquake, I believe. I know Appleton gets it.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately.
That's a shame, because if it did, it would break the Copper Azure. Yeah. I think Mew is abusable. Like Scarfire Dragon can take on Mew pretty well. It's kind of awkward. Both of these teams have low tier fire types, which is interesting. That always catches me a little unaware. I have Rapidash as well, so I'm joining the low tier fire types club. Ooh. So Inteleon's kind of interesting because obviously the Galarian Mine removes screens and Inteleon gets screens. I don't know how useful screens is going to be against Professor's squad.
Yeah, but to do some late game shenanigans with it. But I don't know.
I feel like Professor has too much in terms of prep and mechanical skill to beat Sylvie. I think Sylvie just doesn't have... If Sylvie can sort of adjust his playstyle a little bit and be a bit more willing to switch when he's set up a Pokemon, then Sylvie could cause problems here. Because it's kind of like Hydreigon beats a couple of these mons, but then Togekiss beats Hydreigon, and then it's like... you know, Galvantula can poke a few holes in, but then Rhyperior beats it. Hitmonchan could also be an interesting thing, because Hitmonchan has the fun thing with webs where it could just rapid spin and bullet punch things to death. Galvantula being physically frail that might be a good webs deterrent. I feel like Professor's going to take another comfortable win here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be as comfortable as his match versus Nitro. I will give Professor another win though. I am going to think it's going to be a 4-0, so just marginally worse.
I like all the deterrents to stop Gmax. Probably, I mean the screens and stuff. But I don't think that's going to overall work out for Sylvie, as you've got to do damage, as he knows that. I'm gonna go 3-0 Professor.
Alright. So, coming in next one then is going to be two people that took some very good wins in their week one. Burger of the Fire Ferrets Republic City, a very long name, please shorten it. Versus Happy Nico and the Cataclysmic Conkelders. Awfully hard name to say, please change it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'll just see this one turn out, because this one's tight for me.
Yeah. The way that they both played and what they said after, and just the way, I really loved the way he played the position of Haxorus. Came in really nicely.
Very solo-esque.
Yeah, and then obviously how Nico played the Gengar with basically letting his Bronzong die to get the information to sweep with the Gengar was really cool. Overall, sure.
It's kind of an awkward run, right? Because, like, Slurpuff can really kind of go in against the Conkeldurr and the Obstagoon if it can get the Unburden set up.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but then it's got, like, Bronzong in the way. And then it's like, that's kind of awkward. And then Gengar's also in the way. Then you got to find a way to deal with that. I mean, Corviknight can deal with it. I do believe Gengar still gets Thunderbolt, so that could be a kind of little shenanigans that might be there. Sandaconda, kind of an awkward-ish matchup, partly due to Appleton. But I could definitely see like a coil set being annoying. Glare could also be a thing for the Gengar especially. Things like Haxorus, if Burger can continue to play around it, can actually cause a real dent, seeing as the only fairy on Nico's team is Togetic, and Togetic isn't really that useful in a way, because Haxorus gets Poison Jab to actually hit the fairies. So that's something else to bear in mind. Things like Boltund is really interesting. The real good speed tier definitely helps it out a lot. Does get a lot of moves that can hit the majority of this team. Gets Crunch, of course, for Gengar. Gets things like Play Rough for Conkeldurr, Obstagoon, Appleton. Gets Thunderfang, of course, for Togetic, and also for Zard. The only move it doesn't get is Ice Fang, which would be nice for Golurk, but it doesn't have it. It still has Crunch, so that's something else to bear in mind. Boltund actually hits a lot of this team. That's actually kind of terrifying. And he did bring Life Orb Boltund last time. I could definitely see that coming again. I can even see him go for Banded and just really hit hard. I feel like there's a lot to offer from both sides. Nico's got decent natural bulk, and if he can get things like the Obstagoon or Conkeldurr in, they can definitely cause problems. Gengar can definitely cause problems.
Banded Haxorus I like as well. Mold Breaker ignoring Bronzong's Earthquake, Jesus. Okay.
Even Scarf, actually, not even needing the Dragon End. Scarf could definitely be interesting, so it'll outspeed the Gengar.
He gets first impression this generation. Obstagoon could have used that with Obstruct though, so that's definitely something to think about. Special Slurpuff outside of the Gengar could be decent. Bronzong might run Heat Proof again, because obviously Haxorus is getting Mold Breaker, doesn't matter.
Yeah, there is actually no Fire type on Burger's team though, so he may be dissuaded from that, when especially things like Sandaconda, Haxorus.
Yeah.
I don't think Scrafty ever got Earthquake, but like, there's definitely a bit of ground coverage there that Bronzong might be able to be a good switch in for, because otherwise he's relying on Charizard or Togetic. Don't really see Togetic coming, if I'm honest, although it does beat Scrafty, but that's about as far as that goes. But he has better answers for Scrafty anyway. This is a tough one. I feel like we should have put this further down the order. But, this one I think is relatively even in terms of teams. But it's going to be a question of what they bring and how well do both of these teams play. Because if they both play like their week 1 matches, it's going to be like down to the wire. It's going to be 1-0 either way. And even then, I still wouldn't know who I'd pick. In fact, you know what? I always pick first. You pick. Go.
Yeah, I was about to say that. 2-0 Nico.
You know what? Just for that, we're going to have a 2-0 game. I'm going to go 2-0 Burger. Alright, one of us is going to be right. And it's probably going to be you, but we'll see. Alright, coming in next is going to be DJ, who took a very narrow loss to you last week with his Sun team, versus Shadow, who took a very nice game against Sylvie, of course. How'd you see this one turning out? And also, why the heck is Rillaboom on here? I've just noticed that. I don't know why Rillaboom is there. That is supposed to be a Persimmon. I will live edit that while you quickly go talk.
Yep. Alright. Well, Grimmsnarls. It obviously has fun times with the Dragapult. Can be limited by Will-O-Wisp, but he can just have Taunt for it. He could do what I did with the Berry last week and have the Steel Berry on Grimmsnarl if he wanted. It has like weird coverage like Power Whip for Seismitoad. Shots down, yeah, it probably just muscles through Torkoal, like, yeah. It could Weezing with Neutral and Gas, although they're the same speed tier. I was thinking of Will-O-Wisp being it that way, trying to dodge the taunt. But they are the same speed tier.
I'm kind of potentially looking at like a double Shell Smash with Torkoal Cloyster. I'm also looking at Heliolisk. Heliolisk getting Sludge Wave for Grimmsnarl would be kind of nice. Especially if you brought the same sort of spec set. Obviously, Toxicroak and Duraludon kind of deal with that okay.
Well, if Heliolisk gets Sludge Wave, I didn't even know.
It came in week 1. No, they used Sludge Wave week 1. So, I might be misreading it, but I'm pretty sure it was Sludge Wave.
It was Surf.
Well, I know he got Surf as well. But yeah, I could have sworn he got Sludge Wave. I might be wrong. Might be misreading it. But yeah. Copperajah is kind of interesting against the Grimmsnarl as well. The G-Max is interesting. The Steel Stealth Rocks, probably not the most impactful, given there's an Incineroar, a Mudsdale, and a Duraludon, as well as like Keldeo on the other team.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of things there that don't really care. Girder is kind of interesting. Does hit the Duraludon pretty hard, as well as the Incineroar, providing it doesn't get intimidated. Does get things like knockoff for Dusclops. I like Seismitoad quite a bit, actually. Seismitoad can be annoying for Shadow. Gets things like Grass Knot for Keldeo, of course. Gets the Earth Power for Duraludon and Incineroar. Gets Scald for Mudsdale.
Fortunately,
does have to deal with Toxicroak.
Shiftry doesn't look too good because of Toxicroak having priority. He actually finally got a Chlorophyll user himself in Blossom. It's not that fast, but
does get Quiver Dance.
Yeah. So yeah, after one Quiver Dance, it's gonna outspeed. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think this is another one, like, this is such an even-ish type of game, where both sides have got big threats. It's going to be who manages them better. I backed DJ last week, and I shouldn't have done. But at the same time, I always want to be satisfied seeing Shadow lose, because it's probably unlikely that I'll beat him anytime soon. So... Alright, DJ, I'm backing you again. Don't flame me. I'll give you a 1-0.
Well, I think Grimmsnarl's absolutely incredible in this matchup. I'm going 3A Shadow.
Alright.
I just see that thing coming in late game or early game. Like,
Could definitely be annoying. We'll see if DJ has some prep for some answers for it. Alright then. And now it comes down to our matches. So, coming in at the next one, I'll let you take this one. It's going to be me, of course, versus EXO. How do you see this one turning up?
oh, there's I'm looking at EXO's team, looking back at Zeraora. Hello.
Exactly.
Maybe does some things with like focus hash memo. I thought he would have bring it last week, but he didn't. Maybe some trick room shenanigans with Jirachi Zato. Fortunately, Morpeko doesn't get anything after a +1 boost after Aura Wheel to one-shot Zeraora. You could always run Shocker, even if he is Focus Sash on the memo. We're taking Earthquake pretty easily.
Do you know what really breaks my heart about this game? I'm having to face my own mascot. This ruins me so much. It almost makes me want to back EXO to win just because I don't think I can kill my mascot. I don't think I could bring myself to do it. So EXO's probably just going to bring it against me just to spite me now. I won't be surprised. No, I don't know. I feel like I've got a very abusable matchup here. Not just Zeraora. I think Kabalion hits incredibly hard against a lot of this team. I could even do some shenanigans with Whimsicott. Whimsicott actually has a few little tech moves, which I'm not going to spoil right now, because it may appear in one of my sides. That can really cause EXO some problems. Even things like Rapidash actually has a surprisingly solid matchup here. Rapidash can hit this team pretty hard. Jellicent is nice against the Snorlax unless it's running Max Darkness with DD Lariat.
Yeah,
I mean,
to face 2 Snorlaxes in a row.
I know. It's almost like people think I'm a fat bastard. And they'd be right. No, I'm joking. Dear.
Maybe it'll run Choppel again, who knows?
Yeah, don't bloody remind me. I'll knock off next time. I'll make darn sure I haven't got one. But yeah, I feel like this matchup is fairly safe for me. I feel like I've got a lot of ways to abuse this draft. I've got a few little ideas which are floating around that I haven't decided on, but I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm going to break this team. Silvali's kind of an interesting dilemma for me because he is missing 3 types. There's no Ghost, there's no Grass or Dragon on this team. I do expect Silvally Ghost, if I have to be honest. I think Silvally Ghost is by far the best one he can pick. But at the same time, like, Grass isn't so bad. Does give him a Leech Seed immunity if I ran, like, Subseed Whimsicott. That could definitely be a thing. But yeah, I feel like Ghost is better in all ways. So, either way though, I'm obviously going to back myself. I don't know how efficiently I'll be able to break him, but I'm going to put myself at a 4-0 win. You still alive?
Yeah.
Ah, there you are.
Sorry.
No, I do.
I like Salazzle's matchup quite a bit. Obviously he has to break through Gudra. Jellicent? I think he gets Shadow Ball. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'll check that. I feel like I looked at that and I couldn't remember if it did. Salazzle. It does not get Shadow Ball. It gets Shadow Claw though. Gotta use that base 64 physical attack. Let's go.
DD Salazzle, here we come.
Fake out Dragon Dance. Yeah, why not? Dear.
I feel like EXO could bring a lot, but we've had 1 week, and I actually feel like Exo could have done a little more in that first match that he might have not seen. I'm gonna back you based more off playstyles. But your games tend to be very, very long and very, like, that's just how he plays. And, yeah.
It's definitely a war of attrition. Survival of the fittest.
I want to go 2-0 in your favour.
Alright, which leads us on to the last match, which is actually the most hype matchup because there's a lot of smack talk going out at Dinistrio's side, which I appreciate. I love a good bit of smack talk, me. Alright, so in all honesty though, there's always the joke around going about free wins, so I will give Trancel a chance to have a bit of smack talk back. I do think it will be quite fun. Definitely a bit of banter, of course. It's interesting though that no, Primarina didn't come last week. Should have come. Would have caused a lot of problems. I think it should absolutely come this week. The Rapidash is not great. It doesn't do enough in this matchup as far as I'm concerned. The somewhat passive nature of your team can be exploited. There are some pretty fast and hard-hitting Pokemon on Dinny's team. Looking at the Arcanine, especially in the Primarina, can be really hard. Virizion has an interesting matchup. Needs to be careful of Piloswine, but does get fighting moves to hit it. Noivern is actually somewhat of an issue. That being said, though, unless it's Scarfed, I don't remember if it gets a grass move. Noivern, that is.
Solar Beam.
Yeah, where's your Sunsetter? Like, you know. Cinderace with Sunny Day. Let's go. Sunny Day into G-Max Max Flare. Why not? But yeah, I think Primarina is horrible. I think Necrozma especially can be an issue dependent on spread. Toxtricity, it is slow, but it actually has the potential to break a lot of this team. It does need to watch out for the Psychic move on the Hatteran. Ooh. I am not too sure how I would want to put it. I think Dinistrio, if he actually brings the better 6 instead of like a not really try and prep that much type of 6, I do think he has an actual good chance of beating you. But I'm going to give you the floor now. Smack talk Dinny as much as you want. Let's have some spice in this game. Alright.
Alright. So, Aegislash comes in if he doesn't have Type Null, which I kind of expect him to bring, especially because I've got Rotom now. Yeah, it kind of just clicks Shadow Ball against a lot of this team and dips out and comes back. Yeah. Cinderace. Alright. Arcanine's a bit of an issue. But,
where's the smack talk, man? You're being too analytical. Come on, hit me with it. Let's get some banter in here.
This easy. It's 4-0 to me. This isn't even a contest. Like,
that's what I like to hear. That's what I was waiting for from the start. I was almost worried you weren't here.
Like he got a second win on me. That was a meme match. Doesn't count. The first one, I misplayed. Fair enough. Second one, the third one, easy win.
Alright.
Fourth one will be an easy win.
Alright, you know what? I almost want to see the Spice matchup. I want it to be, like, super awkward. I am going to back you, though. Even though I think Denny has the better matchup. Actually, no. I'm going to back Denny. Gotta go against you again. I'm going to give Denny a 2-0 win. And it's off the back of if he brings Primarina and if it does actually put in work. That's what I'm going to put it in. If you're going to go 4-0, I'm totally down. And that will actually wrap them all up. Definitely some spicy matchups. Definitely some very close matchups. I think this week's going to be a very, very tight week. We could definitely see a lot of shifting around in the power rankings. But yeah, that's going to be it from us. Thank you, of course, for joining me as always, Trancel.
Yeah, no worries.
And we are going to get on out of here. So, thank you so much for watching. My name is Rabombi Teacher. That's Trancel. Stay safe.
Hello.
Stay awesome. And we will see you guys next time. Take care.